We just watched Lucy in the Sky. Go ahead. Tell how wonderful you thought it was.
I didn't say it was not wonderful.
I said, no, tell them how wonderful
Oh.
you thought it was. I mean, say how wonderful you thought it was.
It was okay. It wasn't one of those movies where I would say I wanted all my time back. Like, maybe because I was doing other stuff and it was a background movie, but I felt that it was a movie that was conveying a message and trying to convey some messages, but the way they went about it maybe not was as complete, and it made her seem like she was justified and a victim in everything that was going on just because she went to space. If she had some mental issues and she worked for NASA, I think that would have been caught a long time ago, when she would have been in required therapy, required something. So they kind of dropped the ball on that. It wouldn't have got to the point where she would have needed, to try to kidnap somebody or whatever the freaking shit she was going to do. Bring her daughter along as a part of all of this stuff. Her daughter was old enough to be like, Mom, what the fuck? What's going on? You're acting crazy. Like, none of that ever happened. Only thing her, 15, 16-year-old daughter said was she was hungry. What am I supposed to do? I need some food. So the husband her husband, who I would assume is not the father of her daughter, but they didn't make that clear.
Yeah, okay, they kind of did.
Yeah.
It was very brief.
Right.
They did make it clear.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, she's like, I was 13 when I had you.
Oh,
and something
okay.
else. So.
Okay, and so all this was a result of her mom being an alcoholic and her father being, what was the father's deal? A deadbeat dad and an alcoholic mom. So now, even though
that was before she thought about being an astronaut,
right?
So we're not gonna talk about that.
But if you made it that far to be an astronaut, then you kind of broke out of that.
You got some sense.
So you chose to have an affair and all that. Nobody is saying that her husband is a bad guy. So I don't understand why the daughter wouldn't have been able to reason and say, "Hey, I'm standing here with Dad" or whatever. The messages, I think you have to be intelligent enough to pull it out. It wasn't complete enough for me, to somebody just watching it, to relate the cocoon emerging, but you realize it's not a cocoon.
They thought they was being intellectual, making people think so deep.
Right.
I get. Go ahead.
Right.
I get the connections though, but go ahead.
Basically, I just watched a movie that she went to space, she came back, and she started having some mental issues a little bit that needed to be addressed, and it wasn't addressed, and she was dealing with those issues by having an affair, sleeping with somebody, and then when that guy wasn't there for her to sleep with, she kind of lost it. So now she just kind of replaced that sexual affair with bees. So now she's a beekeeper. So that's what I got out of it. I still never seen her one time talk to a fucking therapist. They didn't even have to show it, but not even once have they even discussed.
Suggested.
Yeah, well, he did.
Yeah.
The guy was like, "Whoa, maybe you need to see a doctor."
Yeah, he
she
did.
kept rolling up.
Yeah, he was over it.
Right.
Go see somebody.
We have an affair. Like, you married. Like, what the? So
you got a whole ass family.
I would have liked to see them. NASA.
And he really didn't pursue her.
He did not pursue her.
But go ahead.
She hid out of his truck one day. He just came out of his truck and she was under the seat.
Right, I'm talking about even before that, when they first had beers in the back bed of his truck. She just because he said you never did anything wrong in your life.
Right.
She molested him.
Right, that's true.
But go ahead.
Yeah, so I would have liked to see some more the way the NASA handled it, like with her seeing a therapist or something.
You can't see that.
I would have liked to have seen that transition from
her
on the ledge to her being a beekeeper. They just ignored that whole transition. What happened? Did NASA kick her out? Did they suspend her to give her time off?
Were you in a mental facility?
Did you quit? Yeah. Were you in a mental facility? Like,
did you do any actual jail time for
it?
Right.
Like what? So.
Although we know no would be the answer to that.
But we've seen lots of movies like that, and I'm sure making the movie is kind of either hard or you just get burned down. Be like, we gotta close
end
this.
it.
We gotta end this.
We only got a couple hours.
Right. We can't explain everything, put everything. We just gotta wrap it up. So on that rating scale with the popcorn thing, that goes up to 100, right? I probably
Yeah.
The popcorn scale,
Yeah.
I probably would give it a 45 or 40.
Okay.
That's what I would give it.
Okay.
And part of it is because of the time of day and the mood and all that, and when we watched it. If we watched it like prime time, where I'm gonna pick a movie and this is gonna be the movie I'm gonna watch, it probably would be more like a 30, and I would want a quarter of my time back. But by it being, the day it is and our moods and stuff, I'm giving it the 40.
Being generous.
Yeah, I'll give it the 40. So, but I do understand the message that they're trying to convey.
Multiple
messages and all that. I get it, but I just
shout out to her husband who put up with that shit.
But what? Okay, that's me.
The relationship between characters was real weird. It wasn't fully believable, but that's a chemistry dynamic thing, I think, and talent.
Oh, and Angelina Jolie was smart to pass on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, she was. That was some bullshit. But if that's 2019 and the pandemic was popping off, I could see her declining everything at that time. Because the people in the know knew that they needed to pull.
But what's your take on the movie, though?
You know my take on the movie.
No, you pulled out the video like you reviewing shit.
I know, but I was just going to use all your input.
Oh. No.
You know how I feel. They did all the things to encapsulate and emote in such a way that kept you intrigued to find out how they're going to unfold the complications of mental unwellness after traveling into space. But when you get through, she just had some trash upbringing and can't really handle much of nothing. She was smart enough academically to achieve professionally, but that didn't take the trailer out of her.
Sure didn't.
Y'all love to say how you can't take the rat out of the hood. So you could take the trailer out the trash. But you can't take the trash out the trailer. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, she was trash. She and the torch got passed, so she was a trash mother too. She did pick a good guy, but I'm guessing he had a little crush on her at work, and she went for it. Cause like you said, it seemed like she uses sex to escape, and when it gets old, something else. I don't think she used the bees to replace sex, but I think she used the bees literally to represent her metaphorical evolution beyond her insecurities and unwellness, revolving around what she translated to be God making a thing that has to destroy itself in order to fly. So when she thought that cocoon was a butterfly, found out it was wasp, and was like, how she reacted, traumatized, and that carried that trauma. That was a metaphorical trauma that she carried through all through to the point of her wanting to kidnap dude. And so I feel like her moving beyond it is represented by her embracing beekeeping. So now she out in the farm, happy with Mother Nature, beekeeping, no longer traumatized by the fact that in the cocoon, what she thought was butterflies is wasps, but wasps are beautiful too. So life is happy and live happily ever after, because I'm a white lady and I was a victim the whole time, even though I was always the villain, the aggressor, the predator, the sociopath, the negligent, abusive mother, who everything turned to shit that I touch. when all I had the fuck to do was to stop and come up out the water when the motherfucking managed boss man told me to come up out the water. None of this would have gone down like this. You and Nana could have still been cussing each other out to this day and loving every bit of it. But anyway.
So what would you give it?
Well, I don't think it. I take that back. I don't think it killed Nana, but I'd give it a 45 because I don't necessarily want my time back, but I could very well relate to the people that would want their time back for this. And I also think there was gender roles, conditioned gender roles influence in this as well, because I think this movie would have been much greater in the public eye if the lead was a man instead of a woman. Because people, like you said, people already assume a woman can't handle nothing emotionally. So if people already coming back with PTSD, it's gonna be worse for a woman. She gonna, and this kind of demonstrates that low key. But again, nobody's considering her upbringing.
Right, but they took a man's role and they put the woman role.
The woman in it, yeah.
Because all that stuff is what is typical and is acceptable for a man to do.
Yeah, I think the movie would have been...
Drink, have an affair.
All that.
All that stuff with a married woman, all that kind of stuff.
Being a deadbeat parent.
Yeah.
Bringing your child in.
And he admitted all of it, like this ain't love, just see for what it is.
He didn't never act like he wanted her or wanted to be with her.
Like...
And now you got me feeling bad for him because he really liked the black girl. Really.
He doing what he do.
But
even
if he was, I'm saying, even if he was a womanizer and he met this black girl, I was like, oh, I think this the one.
But it don't seem like he's even a womanizer because he don't.
It don't seem like that. It don't seem like that.
Have a commitment with nobody.
It don't seem like that.
He didn't have nobody.
And most of our scenes, we saw him watching other shuttle takeoffs. He wasn't at the club trying to pick up bitches.
Right, that wasn't his thing.
When she went into his email, it wasn't emails to other bitches at NASA. It was to Aaron. It was to his girl.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm glad she didn't do nothing stupid with Aaron.
Me too.
At least they stopped that.
They had to when they made her, because they probably didn't mean for her role to be black, but in order to, they like, well, why can't she be black? We get out some diversity points. Stick her in there. Go get the girl from Atlanta. That look like Janelle Monáe girlfriend. They look alike. Oh, fuck shit movie. But whether it's a man or woman, couldn't no black people get away with it. Oh, speaking of black people, the racist points that they, they got to squeeze it in. The head of NASA had to be black so that he could be the villain that takes her off of Orion, so she could snap on him.
Well, she wasn't taking down the black dude.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I thought she was gonna kidnap him.
But I did too.
Yeah.
But just her being like, because when he told her, like, she didn't register, and I think part of it didn't register because he's black. Dude telling her this, like, nah, you don't mean that.
Oh, okay. I can see.
You know what I mean? I don't think her denial, like if a guy is in denial that a guy don't want him, he's like, no, you can't take me off this. You can't take me off this. But she reached a point where, this black guy, I know he said I'm off it, but, he don't mean it. Let me go on to Frank's party and talk to him. He'll be able to talk some sense into him. It didn't work at the party. Be like, oh, okay. I got plan C. Don't worry. Got plan. One last kiss. Shove him up against the wall. Kiss him. He like this. And look, she.
And then she wasn't even like, what's wrong? She was just like, I'm a winner.
My fingers is her. He was looking around like, what are you doing right now? She's like, oh, I got you, baby. We'll live happily ever after. So, yeah, it was, I want to say it was trash so bad, but it wasn't all the way trash. But I got to also give it make it almost 50% just because I know that if a man was in this lead role, the movie would be considered 90% better. And it would be received, public received 90% better. Okay, that's it. That's all.